Hello, I am Lisa J. Stocks. Thanks for tuning in. So, today I'm going to talk a little bit about the week that just passed, the week ahead, and then my topic of the day is surrounding yourself with the right people changes everything. So, before I get into that topic, I'm going to talk a little bit about the past week. So, let's see. On Monday, there was a lot of pullback in the market when DeepSeek, all these headlines about DeepSeek hit, which is a Chinese AI app that hit the market and was the most top downloaded thing in the Apple US App Store. And DeepSeek, they claim to have a more powerful AI model than OpenAI's Chat GPT at a fraction of the cost. So this just, caused turmoil in the market. And I went live, I think late morning on Monday, just to share that, yeah, this is one of those days. I have a schedule. I have, a plan on how I'm going to keep up with my investments because I'm not done. I'm not building yet, whether it comes to retirement or my taxable accounts. I'm still working on my investments. But when it comes to a day like we were having on last Monday, that's a day when it's just about the budget. I'm going to invest extra on particular days because I take the dip on certain investments as an buying opportunity. So I have to be mindful. And when I'm able to, when the budget and something like that aligns and I'm able to get in there, if I don't have limit orders set to automatically buy for me, um, it was one of those days. But okay. I don't know if you guys watched any of my videos from this week. There was a lot of earnings going on with Apple and Meta and Intel, for example. I know I definitely touched on those. But back to what I was talking about the opportunity. On January 27th, for example, Taiwan Semi was down to about 188. I got some Nvidia at 118. Google dipped down to about 191 to 193. So I made sure to add a little extra to my portfolio on those things because those are positions that I'm still building up. And then when it comes to XRP, um, it's pulled back. Like even when I looked about a half an hour ago, I think it was about 253. But let me see what it is. It's currently 268. But I had limit orders in 280, 260 to see what would fill because that's another position that I've wanted to add a little bit more to. So I'm just being mindful of these things and um still continuing to build and grow my positions and taking advantage of the dip when it comes to my long-term investing, whether it's my ETFs, individual stocks, whatever I'm prioritizing. Um, Thank you everyone for tuning in. I see Peachy, Marlene was here this morning with the first comment of the day. Fast Eddie, Double Speak. Robert, you must have just finished your live recently. Khadijah, thank you guys. If you guys came straight over from Robert's live, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Please let me know if you have any questions. Please drop them in the chat. I will be mindful to take a look. And thank you, Peachy and Robert, for sending the jewels. I can see them over there on my phone. Okay. So that was the week behind us. Um, you know, I have I have over 50 shares, not sure exactly how many. I think I'm in the 60s of Apple stock. Their earnings came in strong, but they are lagging when it comes to iPhone sales. But I'm okay with the exposure that I have there. It's a long-term hold for me, and I'm going to continue building on that position. But I had my eye on those earnings, as well as Meta and Amazon and other things that I have in my portfolio. Amazon's earnings are going to be coming up on February 6th, but I'm just, like I said, I'm still building and growing, and I'm not going to let anything hold me back. I'm not going to be discouraged and feel like it's all-time highs. Like, is the run done? Is it too late? I'm continuing to invest into certain blue chip stocks, as well as, of course, my ETFs, those my dividend paying investments like Main Street Capital. I'm still going and building up on those positions, but just wanted to highlight on a day or a particular week or time frame like we just had this past Monday. Have your eyes open to it. Um, and I was just watching Robert's live about an hour ago, and he was really talking about President Trump wanting the US to be the crypto capital of the planet, of the world, however he phrases it. And I've talked about that in my recent videos also. So uh, after the election, I did increase my positions into crypto more than I had. Just seeing the direction that things were going. I already had, Bitcoin, Ethereum. I had certain cryptos in my portfolio, but this over the last few months, I have now added XRP. I didn't get in at 20 cents or 60 cents or the places where some others may have, but I'm building up, and I'll be okay if it does pull all the way back to, say, 225, 226, because I have a long-term picture on it, and I understand that there are some that are trading it, and it may come down. It was over $3, for a little bit there. And I'm looking at the long-term picture. I'm looking forward to 2030, 2035. That's the mentality and that's the mindset that I have when it comes to building my portfolio. Certain things I do trades, I do options trades, and I do long-term investing. And sometimes I do these things on the same on the same stock. For example, I'm a long-term investor into Apple. I have Apple stock that I've been holding and building on for the last nearly 5 years now. But on top of that, this past week, I say I traded options contract on Apple was the most thing that I traded. I also did trade SPY and Carnival Cruise Line. My Carnival Cruise Line trade didn't go well. But, I'm here to share the good and the bad, and everything's not going to be perfect. So, okay. So, what else do I have on this topic? I already touched on this. Now, one other thing I had written here before we get into my main topic of the day is making sure that you're investing enough. My main priority when it comes to investing is retirement. I always say that, but I gotten into the place over the last few years where I started to invest for hopefully my early retirement as well as my daughter. But I always prioritize retirement. That is my main focus because um, that's what's most important, because you have to be able to take care of your older self. And we all see the way that the economy is. We all see the way prices have risen, and how far is Social Security going to go for us? I do have a pension that's going to come from one of the companies that I worked at. It's not much, and I have to realize what steps I need to take. And something else that I might start to incorporate into my personal financial journey is focusing more on mortgage repayment of my primary property where I live, because I want to make sure that I'm setting myself up for the future. So with that, I guess I was kind of thinking about with the retirement. If you are the breadwinner of the household, make sure that you're looking at it in that way, that you're creating a retirement, you're investing enough that's going to be able to support both of you. If there is or at least investing extra during the years when your mate may be prioritizing being a stay-at-home mom or something like that, so that you're making sure to be on track for the future for the long haul, you know? And I've seen a couple of times in different groups that I've, not Reddit groups, but different, uh, like investing or stock market or finance groups where a woman says, I've been a stay-at-home mom. I've been focused on the family for the last 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, whatever. I've never did the bills or I didn't have a 401k. I wasn't doing any investing. And now, I'm a widow or I'm getting a divorce and they're at such a huge setback with knowledge as well as actually having those savings for themselves. And I think it's a really sad situation that, you could be with someone for so long and be left in that situation. But okay. Let me know if you have, yeah, Peachy, they have some really interesting stories on Reddit. I know. Um, Let me know if you have any questions or comments on the earnings that just passed. I posted the earnings calendar for the upcoming week. I know we have Amazon and Nvidia and more key players coming up. It's that time. It's that time right now where a lot of big names, the Mag 7 and a lot of big companies have earnings coming up. So I see Vincent is asking me about holding a life insurance policy as part of your overall retirement plan. I really can't speak on that. I don't think of my insurance policy in that way as something to draw from. That's just the way that I've gone about it. I've just pretty much focused on it for the benefit as well as if you're injured or something like that, but not necessarily as a retirement plan, like catastrophic industry in getting tongue twisted, guys. Sorry. Like if you were in an accident or lost a limb or something like that, I more think of it like that as well as just the death benefit in general, but not as I don't really have any insights to share on it as a part of my overall retirement planning. Okay, let me see. All right, so I'm going to get started. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you haven't already, please give the video a thumbs up and let me know if there's anything about any of my videos from the past week or any other questions or things that you have on your minds. Thank you, Chocolate Drop and Realist and everybody that's Fast Eddie, everybody who's tuning in. So, okay. So now back to, well, let me get started with today's actual topic, which is surrounding yourself with the right people changes everything. So I always, as I get to the end of the week, I've been trying to keep up with doing my Sunday live. So as I get towards the end of the week, I'm always thinking about, what is going to be my next topic? Is it just going to be, well, just trying to figure it out in general. So I was on Instagram and a clip from the Jeffersons came across my timeline. This is one of the things that sparked me to have this as the topic of the day. So if there's anyone in the chat who doesn't know what the Jeffersons is, it was a show about a guy who had laundry dry cleaners in New York City. And that's how he built his wealth. And he wound up living, as the song says, in a deluxe apartment in the sky. So in this scene, this little clip that I saw on Instagram, it was a clip of George Jefferson, and he was talking to a girlfriend that he had prior to his wife. And his wife is Louise. So the ex-girlfriend is saying basically all of this should have been mine. And she's angry about the situation and that he went off and married Louise and has this wonderful life. And he says to her, I wouldn't have had this if I was with you. And he said, "I could see when we were dating, you weren't gonna support me and help me, and I know what our relationship looked like, and I know what being with Louise looks like and what we were able to build together. So don't come here and think that you would have had her life because she was supporting me and helping me build my businesses and get from one franchise, one uh dry cleaners to adding a second and a third till I think he had like seven. But these are the type of things that I was thinking about as I was thinking about how I was going to talk about today's topic. And another thing is, and I think she's still in the chat, this person, they just recently got on a new restarted a new fitness journey and lost 10 pounds. And I was on their live and they said that they had shared some information with a friend. And if the friend asked, "Well, how often are you going to be working out?" And they said, "Every day." And the person they shared this with said, um, "That's too much. You shouldn't do it. That's going to be overwhelming." And and was very discouraging. And I said to her through her chat, that yeah, don't share those type of things. If we want to talk about, budgeting, finance, fitness, come to me. I suggested, okay, Peachy is sharing. It's Peachy that I'm talking about that lost 10 pounds and is doing her daily workouts. Um, so I suggested myself and someone else that she could share those type of accomplishments with. Perhaps, we could share, just be accountability buddies on if we are keeping up with our daily workouts and stuff like that. And, I'm not a person that ever uses this expression of like people come into your life for a season and a reason. What I'm going to go through in my points, I'm not trying to say, get people out of your life completely, but basically there are certain people that I go to for certain things because I know that I'm going to get they have knowledge and I want encouragement on certain things. And if someone's going to say, "Lisa, you're not eating enough and you're working out too much and you're making too many YouTube videos and not encouraging what I'm trying to do," that's not the person I'm bringing that topic to. I'm not going to say I may not. There may be something else I can talk to them about. But you know, all right. So another thing that crossed my mind or crossed my that I came across was a post. Um, and this is kind of touching on something else that you need to do. Well, I'm gonna talk a little bit about. This is a post by that Chris Sain had shared, and he said, "If your main circle isn't discussing opening businesses, investing, escaping the 9 to 5, fitness, and self development, then it's time to find a new circle. Your network is your net worth." And so we're just going to talk a little bit about that, about just bringing the, bringing what you're trying to do to the right place so that you can get encouragement in a constructive way. So those were just a few things that led me to this topic of the day. So, um, another thing, so the first point I have here is evaluate your performance. Just as practicing a skill with someone better than you improves your performance, surrounding yourself with successful individuals um, elevates your success. So with this, it made me think about I think they were together for an Olympic team. So LeBron James and Dwayne Wade and Carmelo Anthony, they're coming in from partying at the club till, I don't know, 4:30 in the morning. They're just getting back to the hotel. And Kobe's coming down with his bag and his weightlifting gloves, and he's ready to go work out before eating and then going to practice. And they couldn't jump on board that night when they had been out at the club all night. But in time, Kobe's example was rubbing off on the rest of them. And they were like, yo, we got to do better than this. And this is what I'm talking about. Um, and I know that you may not physically be able to be around someone, and we might not be able to have it right in front of our eyes that we're around the person that can inspire us. I've had the opportunity just once in life. I've heard Myron Goldman speak in person. I've heard Eric Thompson, Eric Thomas speak in person. Now, that may never happen again, but you know what I can do is I can make sure that even if it's a short clip, or if it's they're here on YouTube, I can make sure that I'm cleaning my timeline or taking the time to go over there from time to time and get that information that feeds me and encourages me. So that's something, that's what I mean when I say be around people that are gonna try to help you to elevate yourself. And sometimes you don't even realize, you might think you got some skills, and then you get around someone who actually has a higher level of skill, and then you're like, oh, okay, I thought I was doing something here, but yeah, I'm I'm really not doing it the way that I thought I was. So, if you know what I mean, I hope I'm making sense, guys. So, next up, I have evaluate the people around you to determine who adds value to your life. And I've already been touching on this. I think that there are that, and it could be something that you might think is similar. Not all investing is not the same to me. It could, my long-term investing, crypto, options trading, I might have 3 different people that I might want to lean on or reach out to talk about those different topics. But I want to make sure that I'm going to the individuals that are not going to drain me of my energy and just not complain and not bring me down. Um, and be supportive as well as knowledgeable. Hopefully, doing better than me, or at least at the same level as me, so that we can really have a conversation and we can help each other to do better, is what I'm getting at. So I'm trying to just be around people that are not toxic when it comes to a question, just like I highlighted with um, my channel member that said that someone was telling her, no, don't get started working out so frequently. Like, let her go through the steps, be encouraging, let her do what she's doing. And if she needs to evaluate the plan, but don't knock the plan and you're not even doing it. It might work, it might not work for you, but it could work just fine for her. So I think we need to identify those people. You might have to, if you don't already know, like I don't know if when you say something to someone, you might expect a certain response, but you might be, this has happened to me for sure. I remember I have a situation. This goes back a long time, but I didn't graduate college until I was about 30 years old. And I had a friend that I started college with. When I was 17 years old, we started college together. And I said, when she went through college, straight away, was, done and working on her master's probably when she was 21. And I had shared how much I was earning, and, her response was, I make good money for someone who doesn't have a college degree. And yeah, after that, no, there was never going to be any discussion with her on what my earnings were. If anything, after that, I think I never talked about my earnings with anyone really specifically. I would just, if I got a raise, I would just keep it high level and say, I got a a 4% raise, or I got a 3% raise, or I'm moving into this new role and it's going to be a $5,000 increase. But I would never say how much I earned because I don't want the negativity, you know? And that's what I felt that this person brung with that particular comment. So, but it wasn't until I shared that and I got that response that I realized, okay, this is not a person that is encouraging of me working and striving. I wasn't there yet. I hadn't finished college yet, but I had put in many years at this particular company. I don't feel that I definitely don't feel I was being overpaid, but from their perspective, they felt that, I shouldn't even be doing as well as I was because I hadn't finished college yet. So, just an example. I hope I'm not, running on with it, but that sometimes you may not know, and that's the whole point. You may have to identify the positive traits of the people that are in your circle so that, like I said, you might be able to bring something to one person and never cross your mind. You know what you cannot bring to that person because they're just not able to handle it and they're not going to have anything good to bring to the conversation. Yes. Peachy's talking about the negativity. I think she understands what I'm talking about here. So, yeah, just practice self-awareness, reflect on those interactions that you had in the past so that you can find the support for the different things that we're going through. Okay. And yeah, as I was touching on, I've been to a few conferences in the past. I don't know that I will in 2025. I have things going on, and it some of these conferences move. Like, for example, I've only been to FinCon once, and over the last few years, FinCon has gone to, they've been in Atlanta, and they've been in New Orleans. This next in 2025, they're gonna be in Oregon. I'm not going to Oregon for that event. It's something I would love to do, but, um, so even though I can't do that, that's a bigger scale thing. Um, I can still focus on being in supportive groups, networking, and just doing things with like-minded people and finding support in that way. And um, you guys that take us, you guys that squeeze me in to watch and talk about these topics when you could be watching football. I think that we're on the same page, and I want us to be able to lean on each other and share our goals and just be on track to have these good relationships that can help us on our journey. So, thanks for tuning in, Jumpman, and thank you for that super chat. So, Jumpman is over here. Jumpman calls me Joy. That's my YouTube name just has the J on it. But if you guys have me on Discord, you get to see Lisa Joy instead of just Lisa J. So, that's, this is what crossed my mind. If you guys weren't here earlier, I was talking about some different things that over the last couple of days that kind of inspired me to want to talk about this. And I think we probably heard this quote before, that you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So if you can't get the things that you need from your network, I'm not saying to get rid of those people, but to make sure to find, even if it's virtually, to find other people to connect with, other chats, other Facebook groups or Reddit group where that you can ask the question and be around people that are going to give you a real good, encouraging, realistic answer, because the people around us may not be on board with certain things. And I touched on a few discouraging things that I've had said, related to, it could be related to my investing, the way I invest, working out, lots of different things. So, um, and I don't think well, that's it. Guys, let me take a look at the chat and see if there's any questions. Please let me know if you guys have any questions, but just this is just what crossed my mind that I wanted to share. And we're just starting, we're just 1 month into 2025, and I want us to be successful in everything that we want to get out of this year. And I want us to have our eyes open and be encouraged, and hopefully be around the people that can encourage us. If not, take the conversation elsewhere to where you will get that encouragement. So yeah, I was telling a story about George and Louise Jefferson. I saw someone in the chat said something about sounds like my ex-wife, but I can't find it now. Okay. So let me see. Is there any comments? So, Robert, you had a great live today. I definitely am on on board with what you were saying about crypto, and realizing that that is something potentially that we may want to be more open to. And I don't think I did put out a video mentioning about the XRP ETF. So that's something else that we can be mindful of, to see what cryptos specifically are they working on creating an ETF. And that could be something to put focus on. I'm not going to run down a whole list of cryptos that potentially, I've basically been keeping it to the larger cryptos that are on most platforms. But I like to be ready, and so I have shared with my members all of the different accounts that I have available to me in order to be on top of things. I did not pick up any of the Trump coin for a trade or anything else, but I did have an account available to me when it first came out, in order to do it if I wanted to. So, guys, my first priority is retirement, but I'm open to different things, and have uh created more accounts, and definitely have focused on having more exposure into crypto, even with adding some FBTC over in one of my accounts at Fidelity, where I could not invest directly into Bitcoin. But that's about all I wanted to touch on for today. Um, Thank you guys for tuning in. Please let me know if you have any comments or anything that you would like to, any video suggestions, any comments on lives for the future, because I'm always looking for good topics to bring. And I'm interested to see, what the community is interested in hearing about, when it comes to videos as well as lives. But the one is sharing, I keep my circle of friends small, and you must bring value to his life. So yeah, that sounds like a plan there. So that's what I'm encouraging. And if that's not already happening, like I said, do those tests and figure out where you might need to make some adjustments, in order to make sure that you're getting the encouragement that you need. And I hope you don't have to do a lot of testing and bringing any negativity to yourself in order to get there. But, you only have one time to bring that to me going forward. I'm too far along in life to deal with things that are not feeding me, and adding value, hopefully. So thank you for that super chat. I appreciate that.
Thank you so much. We do greatly appreciate it.
And thank you to Jumpman for the super chat also, and for subscribing. I'm not sure if you just were able to find my channel today, but I appreciate that. So guys, I will see you guys next week. And as I said, please leave me any comments, suggestions, any topics, anything that's on your minds, and I will get back to you. And of course, any members, if you have anything that you want to connect on during the week, let me know. All right, take care.
And to investments, she make a lot on YouTube. Lisa J Stocks. Lisa J Stocks, that's the channel. Hey. If you wanna make some money, visit Lisa J Stocks. Yeah, you will make a lot. If you wanna make some money, visit Lisa J Stocks. Okay. She'll make it pop. If you wanna make some money, visit Lisa J Stocks. Yeah, you will make a lot. If you wanna make some money, visit Lisa J Stocks. Hey, she'll make it pop. Hey, Lisa J